Hello students, I am Tara Jayant, Associate Professor, Department of Zoology, Government PG College for Women, Panchkula. In my previous video, we studied about the structure of neuron and mechanism of nerve impulse conduction. In this video, we will study the propagation of nerve impulse along the nerve fibers and also across a synapse. Conductivity. The depolarization or action potential is self-propagated and is transmitted from the site of its origin along the length of nerve fiber in a particular direction. न्यूरिलेमा या एक्सॉन मेम्ब्रेन में जिस पॉइंट पर एक्शन पोटेंशियल ओरिजिनेट होता है वहां से मेम्ब्रेन की लेंथ के अलोंग वो एक पर्टिकुलर डायरेक्शन में ट्रेवल कर सकता है. This property of nerve fiber to conduct the electrical impulse along its length is called conductivity. Action potential propagation depends on the activation of voltage-gated sodium channels along the length of the membrane. These sodium channels allow the sodium ions to enter inside the membrane and bring about its depolarization. Propagation of nerve impulse along a non-modulated nerve fiber. The nerve fiber has ability to transmit the action potential along its length in a particular direction. Nerve fiber की इसी property को हम conductivity कहते हैं. In the given diagram, a non-myelinated nerve fiber has been shown. In this nerve fiber, the nerve impulse is conducted in the form of local circuits, in which one depolarized area causes the depolarization of the next area. Let us understand what is the meaning of local circuits. Here, the negative charge present on the outer surface of the depolarized area attracts the positive charge on the outer surface of next polarized area. Similarly, the positive charge present on the inner surface of depolarized area is attracted by the negative charge present on the inner surface of next polarized area. This results in the formation of local circuits, and this is how the nerve impulse is transmitted in such nerve fibers. Due to formation of local circuits, the area which was earlier depolarized becomes repolarized and the next polarized area becomes depolarized. The sodium ions flow inward into the intracellular fluid in the depolarized area of the membrane. The positive charges increase the voltage to above threshold voltage value for a distance of about 1 to 3 millimeters for initiating the action potential. मेम्ब्रेन की लेंथ के अलोंग जितने एरिया पर वोल्टेज वैल्यू थ्रेशहोल्ड वोल्टेज वैल्यू को एक्सीड कर जाएगी उतने एरिया पर एक्शन पोटेंशियल ओरिजिनेट हो जाएगा. दिस लीड्स टू opening of sodium channels. Sodium channels in these new area become activated and action potential flows onward as a wave of depolarization along the length of nerve fiber. Action potential propagation along non-myelinated axons require activation of voltage-gated sodium channels along the entire length of the axon. There is no insulating sheath present on the surface of non-myelinated nerve fibers. Thus, ionic exchange takes place along the entire length of the membrane. Non-myelinated nerve fibers में वेव ऑफ डीपोलराइजेशन मेम्ब्रेन की कंप्लीट लेंथ के अलोंग ट्रेवल करती है, इसलिए इन नर्व फाइबर्स में नर्व इंपल्स ट्रांसमिशन की वेलोसिटी स्लो होती है एंड दिस टाइप ऑफ ट्रांसमिशन ऑफ नर्व इंपल्स इज कॉल्ड कंटिन्यूअस कंडक्शन. Propagation of nerve impulse along a medullated nerve fiber. In myelinated nerve fibers, the myelin sheath is impermeable to ions. It provides insulation to the surface of neurilemma. Thus, it prevents the ionic exchange and depolarization along the whole length of the nerve fiber. The ionic exchange and depolarization occurs only at points called nodes of Ranvier. माइलिनेटेड नर्व फाइबर में आयनिक एक्सचेंज और डीपोलराइजेशन सिर्फ नोड्स ऑफ रेनवियर पर होता है क्योंकि ये वो एरियाज हैं जहां पर माइलिन शीथ एब्सेंट होती है. The action potential is conducted from one node of Ranvier to another in a jumping manner. माइलिनेटेड नर्व फाइबर्स में एक्शन पोटेंशियल एक नोड ऑफ रेनवियर से दूसरे नोड ऑफ रेनवियर पर जंपिंग मैनर में ट्रेवल करता है क्योंकि इंटरनोड रीजन्स में माइलिन शीथ प्रेजेंट होती है और वहां पर आयोनिक एक्सचेंज नहीं हो सकता. That's why the ionic exchange takes place only at the points of absence of myelin sheath, which we call as nodes of Ranvier. And this mode of transmission of nerve impulse in a jumping manner from node to node is called saltatory conduction. Thus, the type of nerve impulse conduction which takes place in myelinated nerve fiber is saltatory conduction. Significance of saltatory conduction. Saltatory conduction is significant due to two main reasons. First, velocity of transmission increases in myelinated nerve fiber as compared to the non-myelinated nerve fiber as much as 5 to 50 folds. Second is, it conserves the energy of axon as it prevents the loss of ions across the membrane. So, a little extra metabolism or energy is required for regaining the original sodium and potassium ionic distribution along the length of repolarized membrane. The given diagram shows the difference in the velocity of nerve impulse transmission during continuous conduction and saltatory conduction. In the first stage, the action potential originates at the same point in both myelinated and non-myelinated nerve fiber. In the second stage, after about 5 milliseconds, the distance traveled by the nerve impulse in case of myelinated nerve fiber is more as compared to the distance traveled in non-myelinated nerve fiber. Then, after about 10 milliseconds, the distance traveled by the nerve impulse in case of myelinated nerve fiber is almost double the distance traveled by it in case of non-myelinated nerve fiber. This clearly shows that the speed of nerve impulse transmission is faster in saltatory conduction as compared to the continuous conduction. Nerve impulse conduction through a synapse. As I told you in my previous video also, the close proximity of axon terminal of one neuron and dendron or cell body of the next neuron is known as a Synapse. Functionally, a synapse is formed of three components: presynaptic terminals, synaptic cleft, and postsynaptic membrane. Let us understand the functional anatomy of a synapse. First component of a synapse is presynaptic terminals. These are actually the axon endings of a neuron. In this diagram, you are seeing the synaptic knob present at the axon terminal of a neuron. These synaptic knobs are generally small, oval or rounded knob-like structures. Each synaptic knob has got endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, and many synaptic vesicles present inside it. Each synaptic vesicle is about 50 nm in diameter and has got 2000 to 10,000 molecules of neurotransmitter substance like acetylcholine or adrenaline. The presynaptic membrane has large number of voltage-gated calcium channels present along its length. Second component of synapse is synaptic cleft. Between the presynaptic membrane and the postsynaptic membrane, there is a microscopic fluid-filled gap of about 200 angstrom. This gap is known as synaptic cleft. Thus, there is no cytoplasmic or physical connectivity between the presynaptic membrane and the postsynaptic membrane. Third component of synapse is postsynaptic membrane. It may be the soma or dendron of the adjacent neuron. It has got receptor proteins which may be excitatory or inhibitory in nature and cause excitation or inhibition of the postsynaptic membrane. In this diagram, you can see the receptors for neurotransmitter substance present on the postsynaptic membrane. It has also got many channels which allow the entry of ions inside the dendron. These yellow colored structures which you are seeing on the postsynaptic membrane are the ion channels. Now we come to the mechanism of exodendritic synaptic chemical transmission. The synapse which you are seeing in this diagram is a chemical synapse. In a chemical synapse, there is no cytoplasmic continuity or physical connectivity between the presynaptic and the postsynaptic membrane. Here, the transmission of nerve impulse takes place through neurotransmitter chemical. Thus, it's a chemical process and it involves two steps. First is neurosecretion and second is chemoreception. Let us start with neurosecretion. As the nerve impulse reaches the synaptic knob, opening of voltage-gated calcium and sodium channels takes place. These ions rapidly diffuse inside the membrane and action potential is developed inside the synaptic knob. So it is because of the opening of calcium and sodium channels that influx of these ions takes place inside the presynaptic membrane or the synaptic knob, which leads to the development of action potential. Inside the synaptic knob, these calcium ions bind the protein molecules known as release sites present on the inner surface of the presynaptic terminals. These release sites lie on the inner side of the presynaptic membrane. The synaptic vesicles come near the presynaptic membrane and get fused with it to release the neurotransmitter substance by the process of exocytosis. The amount of neurotransmitter released is directly dependent on the number of calcium ions entering the synaptic nerve. More is the number of calcium ions, more will be the amount of neurotransmitter released into the synaptic cleft. Depending upon the type of neurotransmitter present in the nerve fiber, they are of two types. First is cholinergic nerve fiber and second is adrenergic nerve fiber. In cholinergic nerve fibers, the neurotransmitter chemical is acetylcholine, whereas in adrenergic nerve fibers, the neurotransmitter is adrenaline or epinephrine. The second part of transmission across the synapse is chemoreception. The neurotransmitter substance is received by special molecular sites called chemoreceptors, which we have seen in the previous slide. They are present on the postsynaptic membrane. Here, these are the receptor proteins, which are meant for the recognition of neurotransmitter substance. Chemoreception causes opening of sodium channels. In this diagram, we can see that due to chemoreception of the neurotransmitter, the sodium channels which are present on the postsynaptic membrane, they get activated, they open, due to which the sodium ions move inside the postsynaptic membrane, and this initiates the depolarization and a new action potential is generated on the next neuron. To avoid continued stimulation of postsynaptic membrane by the neurotransmitter substance, it is inactivated by some enzyme. For example, acetylcholine is hydrolyzed into its components acetic acid and choline by the enzyme called acetylcholinesterase. Acetic acid and choline diffuse back into the synaptic nerve and it recombines to form acetylcholine in the presence of another enzyme known as choline acetylase. One-way synaptic conduction. At the synapse, the nerve impulse is always conducted from axon, that is presynaptic terminals, to the dendron, that is postsynaptic membrane, and not from dendron to axon. The reason behind this is that the dendrons cannot secrete the neurotransmitter and also the axon has no chemoreceptors. Thus, there is always one-way conduction of nerve impulse, that is from axon to the dendron. The one-way conduction is extremely significant as the neurons are very specific and they perform highly specific functions like sensation, motor control, memory, etc. Now we come to the electrical changes that take place during exodendritic synaptic transmission. रेस्टिंग कंडीशन में जब सेल बॉडी के मेम्ब्रेन के अक्रॉस कोई भी स्टिमुलस या एक्शन पोटेंशियल प्रेजेंट नहीं है, उस टाइम मेम्ब्रेन के अक्रॉस जो पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस है दैट इज अबाउट -65 millivolt. When the neurotransmitter binds the excitatory receptors present on the postsynaptic membrane, the sodium channels open. The permeability of postsynaptic membrane to sodium ions increases, which rapidly move inside the somal membrane due to their electrochemical gradient. सोडियम चैनल्स के ओपन होने की वजह से सोडियम आयंस पोस्टसिनेप्टिक मेम्ब्रेन के इनर साइड पर मूव करना स्टार्ट कर देते हैं. रैपिड इनफ्लो ऑफ सोडियम आयंस increases the postsynaptic membrane potential from -65 to -45 millivolt which is called as excitatory postsynaptic potential, that is EPSP. So in resting condition, the value of potential difference was minus 65 millivolt, and after the influx of sodium ions, it has increased up to minus 45 millivolt. This induces the development of fresh action potential in the soma of the neuron. The action potential is not developed on the somal membrane adjacent to the synaptic cleft, but it first develops on the initial segment of the axon leaving the neuronal soma. Axon की initial segment में नंबर ऑफ वोल्टेज गेटेड सोडियम चैनल्स ज़्यादा होते हैं। इस वजह से इस रीजन में सोडियम आयंस का इन्फ्लक्स फास्ट होता है। दैट इज द रीजन दैट एक्शन पोटेंशियल कैन डेवलप वेरी इजीली इन दिस रीजन। द एक्शन पोटेंशियल developed on the initial segment of axon is about plus 15 to plus 20 millivolt, and from this region it spreads both along the length of the axon as well as on the membrane of the cell body. Electrical synapse. This diagram is showing the difference between the chemical synapse and the electrical synapse. As I told you, in electrical synapse, there is direct physical connection between the presynaptic and postsynaptic neuron, as we can see in this diagram. The connection between the two membranes is in the form of channels called gap junctions. These structures that you are seeing in the diagram are gap junctions. इन गैप जंक्शंस के प्रेजेंट होने की वजह से आयंस साइनेप्टिक नॉब या प्री साइनेप्टिक मेम्ब्रेन से साइनेप्टिक फ्लूइड के थ्रू पोस्ट साइनेप्टिक मेम्ब्रेन के इनर साइड पर डायरेक्टली फ्लो कर सकते हैं। दैट इज द रीजन दैट इन इलेक्ट्रिकल साइनेप्सेस द सिग्नल्स आर ट्रांसमिटेड more rapidly than the chemical synapse. Synaptic delay. The minimum time period required for chemical transmission of nerve impulse from presynaptic axon membrane to the postsynaptic dendrite membrane is called synaptic delay. In case of man, it is about 0.5 milliseconds at a body temperature of 37 degree Celsius. During the transmission of nerve impulse from synaptic knob to the membrane of cell body, certain steps are involved, due to which there is a delay of few milliseconds in transmission of nerve impulse. These steps are discharge of neurotransmitter from the synaptic vesicles, then diffusion of neurotransmitter to the postsynaptic membrane. Third step is the reception of neurotransmitter by the postsynaptic membrane. Next step is increase in the permeability of postsynaptic membrane. And the last is inward diffusion of sodium ions into the postsynaptic membrane to initiate fresh wave of action potential in the dendron. Significance of synaptic delay. Synaptic delay reflects the time taken to release packets of neurotransmitter and for the molecules of neurotransmitter to diffuse across the synaptic cleft. An increase in the time period of synaptic delay could potentially lead to some sort of neurophysiological abnormality. Synaptic fatigue. The failure of transmission of nerve impulse from presynaptic axon membrane to the postsynaptic dendrite membrane is known as synaptic fatigue. The main reason behind the synaptic fatigue is exhaustion of neurotransmitter in the synaptic vesicles due to rapid and repeated stimulation of presynaptic nodes. As the synaptic vesicles can store the neurotransmitter for about 10,000 action potentials only. Then there is progressive inactivation of large number of postsynaptic membrane receptors and abnormally high concentration of ions inside the postsynaptic membrane. All these factors are responsible for synaptic fatigue. Time period. Synaptic fatigue lasts for few seconds during which the neurotransmitter chemical is resynthesized. Then we come to significance. Synaptic fatigue is a protective mechanism to stop the continued stimulation of the neurolemma. This way, it prevents the excess neuronal activity. Speed of nerve impulse. Speed of nerve impulse depends upon a number of factors. First is nature of nerve fiber. That means whether the nerve fiber is myelinated or non-myelinated, as we have discussed earlier. Speed of nerve impulse is about 20 times faster in myelinated nerve fibers because in myelinated nerve fibers it travels in jumping manner from one node of Ranvier to another. So it is faster as compared to the non-myelinated nerve fibers. Second factor is diameter of nerve fiber. Speed of nerve impulse is faster in thick nerve fibers than thin nerve fibers. Since with increase in thickness, there is decrease in the resistance to the flow of nerve impulse. The velocity of conduction of nerve impulse varies from as low as 0.5 meter per second in very small non-myelinated nerve fibers to as high as 100 to 125 meter per second in very large and myelinated nerve fibers. This is all about this topic. In this lecture, we have studied about propagation of nerve impulse in non-modulated and modulated nerve fibers, then propagation of nerve impulse across a chemical synapse, electrical changes during the exodendritic synaptic transmission, structure of electrical synapse, synaptic delay and synaptic fatigue. I hope all the students are able to understand this topic. Welcome to the second session of this video. In this, I am going to tell you about the type of questions that can be asked in your university examination. The first category of questions is very short answer questions, the answer of which is to be given in 20 to 25 words. Question number 1. Define conductivity. Number 2. What is continuous conduction? Number 3. Name the 3 components of a synapse. Number 4. What is the significance of saltatory conduction? Number 5. What is the meaning of excitatory postsynaptic potential, that is EPSP? Number 6. What is a gap junction? Number 7. Define synaptic delay. Number 8. What is the cause of synaptic fatigue? Question number 9. What do you mean by one-way synaptic conduction? The second type of questions that can be asked in the university exams are short answer questions, the answer of which is to be given in a paragraph of 50 to 60 words. Question number 1 is write short notes on electrical synapse, Second, synaptic delay. Question number 2. Why there is always one-way conduction of nerve impulse across a synapse? Question number 3. Describe the propagation of nerve impulse along a myelinated nerve fiber. Question number 4. Explain the functional anatomy of a synapse. Here you have to clearly give the details of the three components of the synapse. Question number 5. Write about the speed of nerve impulse conduction. The third type of questions are long answer questions. इन questions का आंसर आपको डिटेल में देना होता है और जहां पर भी डायग्राम की रिक्वायरमेंट है वहां पर आपको एक वेल लेबल्ड डायग्राम बनाना होता है. Question number 1 is explain the synaptic transmission of nerve impulse with the help of a well labeled diagram. इस क्वेश्चन में आपको केमिकल साइनेप्स का डायग्राम बनाकर ये एक्सप्लेन करना है कि उसके अक्रॉस नर्व इंपल्स की ट्रांसमिशन किस तरह होती है. क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 इज डिस्क्राइब द मैकेनिज्म ऑफ कंटिन्यूअस एंड साल्टेटरी कंडक्शन ऑफ नर्व इंपल्स. इस क्वेश्चन में आपको नॉन माइलिनेटेड और माइलिनेटेड नर्व फाइबर के डायग्राम्स बनाकर एक्सप्लेन करना है व्हाट इज द मैकेनिज्म ऑफ कंटिन्यूअस एंड साल्टेटरी कंडक्शन. Question number 3 is explain the electrical changes during exodendritic synaptic transmission. In this question also you have to draw a diagram and then explain the process of electrical changes during exodendritic synaptic transmission. I hope this test paper is going to help you in preparation of your university examination. Wish you all the best and thank you.